I want to say welcome to the Wiley Show. It's the morning time. I know some of y'all, most of y'all are at work. So if you missed the episode, just leave us a like and watch the replay. Okay. We're going to try to make sure it's entertaining for you. But we got a big show today. Okay. A lot of stuff that we got to talk about with the show today. But let's get into it. We're going to be talking about Jaguar Wright, the documentary that Surviving Jaguar Wright was produced by KB Studios. We also going to be talking about Jason Lee. And first, we'd like to say thank you to all the producers. I said I got to be on time because y'all was like, wow, you got to be on time. And I'm like, oh, my camera wasn't connecting. Let me make sure the sound good before we get started. Is we good? Is the sound good? Okay. Is it good? All right. All right. So we're going to get into the Jaguar Wright. Actually, we get into the Jaguar Wright first, and then we'll get into the Jason Lee, because this is a lot of notes that I have to take. Now, this is part 2 of the Jaguar Wright story, Surviving Jaguar Wright. In part 1, everybody know that Tasha K interviewed Jaguar Wright ex-husband, and she also interviewed, that was in part 1. Now, and her son, she interviewed Jaguar Wright's son, okay? In part 2, Tasha K interviewed Jaguar Wright's niece, and she interviewed Jaguar Wright's cousin. So let's open up with it. The cousin was like, that she grew up with Jaguar Wright. They were pretty close. And she said that her aunt, Jaguar moved with her aunt because Jaguar was so out of control that her mother said, go and live with your aunt. So the aunt took temporary custody of Jaguar Wright. And that's how she got to Philly, because she was out of control when she was living with her mother. So her mother sent her to live with her aunt in Philly. Then they talked about how the grandmother, raised Sammy, which is, Jaguar Wright living son, how she raised the other son that she had. And then the niece was talking about the relationship with Jaguar Wright's son that's no longer living, the one that's deceased, that they had a terrible relationship. According to this documentary, they said that Jaguar Wright last words to her son that's deceased, you are dead to me. And they never had a relationship. The last thing she pretty much said to her son, you are dead to her. And then, of course, you already know that he passed. So the cousin was saying that the Jaguar Wright son, the one that's deceased, will cry and be like, listen, I live right around the corner from my mother, and why don't we have a relationship? That made me tear up. That part made me tear up. And I'm gonna get to it because I did cry. I had to pause when I heard that. I literally had to pause and I did tear up. But let's go ahead on. And because they stopped talking for about 3 years. And then the cousin was saying that, the son that's deceased, Jaguar Wright, older son that's deceased, that in that that he did not call her his mom mama. He called her Jackie because they did not have a relationship. She said that the son that's deceased is a Virgo. His birthday is on the 5th. And he, the niece was talking about, she didn't even call him on his birthday. This is when he was alive. And she was explaining that. And then Tasha K pretty much, redirected the show off of the deceased son because, in her words, he's not here to defend himself. So, and I think that was really great. But the niece was able to spill some tea. So it was another big piece in this part of the documentary that Tasha K brings up, that Jaguar Wright alleges that her sister husband R'd her. Everybody know what the R word is when you take something from somebody they don't want to be touching. You are. Everybody know the full letter word. We ain't gonna say it. We ain't gonna take us from the algorithm. So the niece is sitting there, that's her father. She said, no, that did not happen. My father did not R Jaguar Wright. That did not happen. Jaguar Wright, then they put to a video in the documentary. They go to a video of a clip where Jaguar Wright says she sung the Lord's Prayer at the wedding, but then she says she went to her sister's home. She was about 14 and a half, and her sister's son was 25, and he pulled down her clothes to her ankles and was on top of her. Jaguar Wright alleged that she got up and ran down the street for a couple of miles, half clothed, and she went to her mother's house. And she told her mother that she was R'd by her sister husband. And her mother said that her mother pretty much said that, pretty much did not believe her at all. And then she said that she smelled like crack and malt liquor. That's what she said. She said the man smelled like malt liquor and crack, because he stuck his, inside her. Okay. So that was that part. She asked for that, and Jaguar Wright said she was not allowed to go to the cops or the hospital. They was like playing a video clip, like a video clip in this documentary. And the niece was like, if he R'd you, why didn't you call 911? Why did you sing at the wedding? But I'm trying to put like an age thing on this, and this is me just questioning it. Really, what I would prefer in this documentary, only critique that I have, I would have loved to have the man that's been alleged to R Jaguar Wright to get interviewed. The niece, that means you are the child in this situation, so you really don't know. If Jaguar Wright was about 14 years old and your mom was up there, you wasn't even of age to know what was going on. So the only critique so far, I would say, I would preferred that, Tasha K would have interviewed the man that Jaguar Wright is alleging that he R'd her. I would have preferred that, because the niece, you don't know. Honestly, you don't. You just know. But let me keep getting this review. And she said my aunt, she wanted to be a rapper, and then the niece was like, you weren't even around my daddy like that, so how would he argue? The niece just going off. Beautiful, good looking, by the way. And then it gets to a clip where Jaguar Wright said that her mother is schizophrenic, and then she alleged that her sister is on drugs. They said that Jackie, this is where the niece and the cousin. So the cousin was saying that Jaguar Wright was so troubled as a child that the police would have to put her in a straight jacket because she was so troubled as a child that the police would have to put her in a straight jacket and put her in a mental hospital. Then they talk about a situation where Jaguar Wright's father chastised her, and they said when she was pregnant, Jaguar Wright got so mad at the father, she got his clothes and buried his clothes in the yard. His work outfit, buried his clothes because she was upset. And they said she was like this, and the cousin was like, I'm not surprised at all that Jaguar Wright's doing this, because of the child, she have been messed up. Pretty much what the cousin was saying. Mind you, the cousin grew up with Jaguar Wright. They were close. Just give y'all a little that disclaimer. The niece was like, it's self-destruction. She never had a, niece talking about Jaguar never had a job. She had a moment in the career, in the music career, it ended very quickly. And Tasha K asked a question. She said, why is Jaguar Wright always in the car doing videos? How is she making money? I believe the cousin said, they said the answer that they said her husband people, the one she's married with now, allow them to rent out a house or an apartment with them. But something happened, they got kicked out, and that they're just out, just living in a car. And Tasha K team, they replayed a clip of Jaguar Wright in the car with her dog, and the dog urinated on the cooler. And she said, how did Jaguar make money? And they said Jaguar Wright, get this, y'all, getting money from her mother's money that she get every month, her pension, because her mother was a teacher for about 30 years. Jaguar Wright's mother was a teacher for 30 years. Jaguar Wright got power of attorney that she's over the money, and all of her mother's money gets deposited in Jaguar Wright's account, according to the family. Then the cousin said Jaguar Wright credit is not good. They were talking about, the cousin was saying when Jaguar Wright got signed with MCA, with her advance money, she bought a house, and she had bought she bought like a $500,000 house and bought like an expensive car. They said she grew up in a middle-class neighborhood. They said Jaguar Wright's father was in the service, and her father owned a cleaning business. The cousin said Jaguar Wright grew up in a 2-parent household, grew up in a nice neighborhood. And then they talked about how her mother was a teacher for 25 years. Then they got into talking about, Belinda, that's her cousin mother. Aunt Belinda is the aunt that took Jaguar Wright in her house when she was younger, took temporary custody of her. And when they brought Sam, which is Jaguar Wright's ex-husband, Belinda was like, you really gonna marry, Jaguar? But she ain't say nothing. She ain't say nothing at all. She just said it, that's what the cousin was saying. And she was like, you gonna marry, Sam, you gonna marry her? Because they knew that Jaguar Wright wasn't all the way up there like that. She wasn't a good person. So Tasha K brought up that Sam said that the family the family kept Jaguar Wright mental illness a secret from him. That the family did not tell him that Jaguar Wright got a mental illness. And and the family was like, well, we didn't want to intervene to make it seem like we trying to mess up her marriage. We didn't want nothing to say. Like, the family knew that Jaguar Wright was mentally ill, that she needed, she was, had problems. They didn't let her husband know. They didn't let him know. And they gave their reason as why. Then Tasha K said that she talked to Sam, which is Jaguar Wright's ex-husband, and the husband said this, and this is what broke my heart, if this is true, that her mother, Jaguar Wright's mother, used the same needle for insulin because Jaguar Wright is in Texas, and she told her mom to go back to Jersey. So her mom went back to Jersey, and all of her medical stuff is in Texas. So the mother cannot refill her prescriptions of the needles. So the mama is using the same needles to get her insulin, that she can't even get new needles and new prescriptions because all the information is in Texas. Then it was found out that she don't even have an ID to even get things taken care of in Jersey because all of her stuff is in Texas, and that Jaguar Wright is her power of attorney. This is all in the documentary. Because they said Jaguar Wright took out a power of attorney on her mother, meaning that all the finance mama gets deposited in Jaguar Wright's account. The cousin said most of what she's saying is false. She take one piece of the truth and just elaborate it into, she take one piece and just make it into a lie. She gave an example. She said if someone touched her on the leg, she will allege that she was hard. So they was giving examples of that. And her cousin said she's very slick of the mouth. And if you ask Jaguar, this is the cousin that grew up with Jaguar Wright, said if you ask her the same questions, she will trip up on her feet. This is where the cousin was like, our oldest son, they would spend time over the summer. And then she was like, if my father, our Jaguar Wright, why did she allow her oldest son to come on the summer to spend time with us when we go out and have fun? But this is what the niece said, and I highlighted this. This is a quote. The niece said that Jaguar Wright was drunk, but she told me my father art her. This is what she said. She said Jaguar Wright told her when she was 10 years old, when her niece was 10 years old, that her father argued her. And I had to pause. I'm like, but the niece said that Jaguar Wright was drunk or maybe high. I'm gonna just move on. Because she said when she was 10 years old, Jaguar Wright told me that her father argued her, and that the 10-year-old person went to the mom, and then she said her dad was crying. So why is she lying like this? So that part, wow. Let me move on. Tasha K asked the question. She asks, why is like Jaguar Wright so angry with the family? And they said once the marriage started to end, and Jaguar Wright wanted to destroy her husband, her ex-husband, Sam. Because the cousin was saying, listen, you told Sam that you slept with Talib Khalid, that you had an affair with Talib Khalid, and then you cheated on with other people. And then she said Sam started to cheat. So the relationship started to end. But then Jaguar got mad, and there was a quote from the cousin. She said that she wanted to destroy him. That it was an incident where she was trying to abuse Sam, and Sam was defending himself. And then, according to the cousin, that Jaguar Wright tried to take this to court, and they went to court. And the cousin that was in the home, another cousin was in the home, saw what happened. They went to court too, and the mother, to testify on the behalf of Sam and not Jaguar Wright, to say that Jaguar was just making it up. So the judge threw out the case. So it was no case. They threw out the case that was in there. And they talked about the the artistic. They talked about that part because Jaguar Wright, was alleging that her son is artistic. So the mother was like, listen, if my daughter is a psych major and my daughter says no way, he's too advanced to be artistic. And then the cousin was saying, hey, there's no records of him being artistic at all. And they were saying, I believe it was the niece or the cousin, but in this documentary, they said they feel like Sammy, they call him, Sam Jr., Jaguar Wright's son. They said he felt like he was traumatized from his upbringing. And Tasha K asked a question. She said, why do she say that about her only living son, that he's artistic and all that? And the cousin, they was like, this is so sad. Her cousin says she feel like Jaguar wanted to get her son diagnosed to get a check. That's what she wants. So when she put on social media that Sam is getting this check and her son is artistic, that is something that Jaguar Wright wanted to do. Her son never been diagnosed of being artistic at all. But she felt that the cousin said she felt like Jaguar said this so she can get a check and everything like that. But then Tasha K was like, well, he's 18. Well, they have something called a payee, like something that she already doing. Like if you a payee, you would get the check because that person can pretty much do for themselves. Most people that get like check when you're artistic or you have autism, somebody else is like the payee of the check. That they get the check. That is what a payee is. So they was bringing that up in the interview. Then they was talking about, then they started reading Jaguar Wright. They said her first album barely went gold. They said her second album flopped. They said she is mad because all these artists that she talk about is more successful than she is. They started to drag. And they said all them artists found success. That's what she's upset. Then the niece said that when, Jaguar Wright's oldest son, when he died, when he got murdered, that the guy that she's married with now said, if you step foot in Texas, I got a bullet and I will put a bullet in your head. Literally threatened the niece and just was talking crazy and all that. So they brought that up in the documentary. And the niece was like, he didn't even know the guy. The niece was like, this guy didn't even know Jaguar Wright's oldest son. They didn't have no relationship, but they was like talking crazy. This is another piece of the documentary that made me tear up. I got my box of Kleenex right here because I was crying. Another piece of the documentary that Tasha K said that when she interviewed Jaguar Wright's son, okay, he said in an interview that he wanted to commit suicide. Okay, he said that in the interview she cut that piece out. She didn't show that piece, but she told him that he wanted to commit suicide, and I cried. And then the family, her niece was like, I'm not shocked. Look how she act. Then she showed a video of Jaguar Wright showing up to Miss Tina home. That's Sam's mother house. That is her son, grandmother house, acting crazy, cussing, and just went on a whole rant. And you can hear the son was like, you can hear the son in the background, like, oh my gosh, why is this? This is out of hand. Like, what are you doing? Like, it was literally sad. Like, she was outside acting a plump fool. It was live on camera. I saw it. Boom, boom. Y'all gotta watch the documentary, but it showed up in there. Talking about, yeah, Tina, what you doing? I'll get to that part, but I'm moving here. But let me say this. They said, what do you think she's gonna say when she see this interview? Yeah, she's gonna say that we're jealous and all of that. They said only one that, let's talk about Jaguar Wright, they talking about the mental illness, and they were talking about how Jaguar Wright said that she would wake up in a different country, that she would just like blank out and just wake up in a different country. Like she's sleeping, blank out, wake up in a different country. It's just like, how are you able to get like a passport? They was bringing all that up. I'm like, wow. But her niece said that Jaguar Wright is funny. And I agree with the niece. She is funny. Then she showed a clip of when Jaguar Wright was on Storm's show. And when she said that if anybody can find some pictures of Sam Singh, her ex-husband, of sleeping with trans women, some explicit photos that, because she alleged that her ex-husband is on these sites sleeping with trans women. And Jaguar and Tasha K asked Sam, do you know what I'm saying? Do you sleep with trans people? Are you gay? He said, no, I'm not that. I'm straight. And she asks, this is where it goes back to when Tasha K was interviewing Jaguar Wright ex-husband. She asked him, she said, why do you think her career never happened? I said, that was a great question. He said, when she said it, because of her. Because she blamed everybody. She blamed the Roots. She blamed me. She signed a major label with MCA. She was working with Rich and Sean. They set up really nice. But he said, you can't go around cussing out MCA president and making all these allegations that somebody's stealing from you and all of that. That's why, because he pretty much said that she messed up her own way, messed up her own deal with her mouth. Then they talked about the debt that Jaguar Wright. This is in the documentary. And she was like, as of that she owed like $100,000 in taxes. This is what the husband said, ex-husband said. As of 2013, she owed like $91,000 in back taxes. And since they filed taxes, joint taxes together, he had to owe some taxes too. So even though they got divorced, he paid his portion of what he had to pay to the IRS, and the last one we have to make is next year. And Tasha K was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so nice of you to pay. I didn't know like ex-husband still got to pay like tax." I'm like, this is a good guy. Well, it's what I see. I'm like, the man still paying the tax to take care of the son, still paying the tax and help you take care of the mama. I'm really looking at the documentary. Then they said, this was the part he was saying that Jaguar sent her mother to Jersey to live with, a play aunt, not her real aunt, a play aunt in a senior citizen home. And being in a senior citizen home, you have to be on the lease. The mother wasn't on the lease. This is another part that made me get my box of Kleenex. That they have found out that the mama, Jaguar Wright mama, was living in a senior citizen home with somebody. She went on a lease, and they're going to evict her. Doing that taping that she was going to get evicted in about a month because she's not supposed to be living in the senior citizen apartment because she's not on the lease. Even though she's qualified by age, but she's not on the lease. And they found out about it. The builder found out about it, and they was going to evict her. And that made me tear up. Then they were talking about, the finance. He said, listen, her husband died in 2009. His death benefits went to the mother. But since Jaguar Wright got power of attorney, she got control of her mother's money. According to the husband, according to the cousin, according to the niece. That's just how she's able to move around, because she's moving around on her mother's money. And her mother is getting evicted. That made me tear up. Tasha K in this documentary, she played a clip of asking the husband, Jaguar Wright, current husband, what he do for work. He said he was self-employed. Jaguar Wright was like laughing. She claimed that she don't want the government in her business. That's why she don't want to get a check from the government and all of that. And he was saying, this was the husband was saying that the mother have a hard time telling Jaguar Wright no. And the mother, I guess when the mother had the money, according to the document, when she had her money in corporation, she had helped Jaguar Wright get a lawyer to help fight for custody for her son. And that didn't really work out. The lawyer kind of quit. She had the money to pay for it. Then the mama got, according to that, they said the mother had got evicted. So this is like really a lot. He said that this is what the husband, Jaguar Wright ex-husband, said, that she's living off her mother's money. And that she used to give her mama $250 out of the $6,000 that she get in her pension from being a teacher, that she would just give her $250. He was saying that, he was trying to help to get her mother like needles because she's a diabetic, trying to get her help, but her script is in Texas. Jaguar Wright alleged that, he took over her Cash App, and he was like, listen, we separated in 2008. We was married for 9 years. I didn't take your Cash App or anything, because Cash App didn't even exist when we broke up and when we separated. And he said the reason why he got custody of the son, because the judge saw the case was proven that Jaguar Wright was unstable. They were saying that how she would get evicted out in an apartment in Dallas, and her son was somewhere at the time, and he would have to help her move the stuff and go to school. So he was pretty much was in an unstable household when she did have custody of the son, when the son was living with her in Texas. He made a choice. He wanted to go to see his mom in Texas, just like last year, and the father was like, listen, you got to get your teeth clean and all that. Then it gets to a video. This one, a video when Jaguar Wright shows up to Sam's, shows up to her son, grandmother's home, Tina. So she got up here, hey, Tina, you ain't going to do this to me, Tina. You're not going to take over that way. And then she took the lady phone, cussed the lady out, called her OH word, literally cussed out. And mind you, Tasha K interviewed Sam's mother. She interviewed Jaguar Wright's ex-husband mother, interviewed. And the lady was like, she would just be cussing me out. Like, and I saw the video. And so the mama was like, well, did Sam give you the other video that I have? The mama had a better video where it was just all in Jaguar Wright's face, and Jaguar Wright was all up to her home, up there blocking the door. Then she snatched the phone out of her mama's hand. It was a lot. Snatched the phone out of, literally, this is her ex-mother-in-law, like literally snatched the phone out of her hand. The police showed up, and the son was like, oh my gosh, why? This is unbelievable. Like, the son was like heartbroken. And it was really sad. I think one of the neighbors had to do it. And then then her husband literally let your wife act fool. You can really tell that he's a little touch. And I've been said that even the family, they said that. I can see that too. He's a little touch himself, because ain't nowhere in the world I'm allow my wife to come to the elderly person's home, calls, just literally harass with your phone just up there, snatch the other phone in hand. That was totally out of place. And so how the documentary ends, it ended when Jaguar Wright was in the back of an ambulance, when she was throwing shots at Storm, threatening Storm, talking about, I know where you live, Storm. Your neighbors was looking at your window, Storm. They said you a nice guy. And then she was talking about, you could be in an Uber and never return home, Storm. Like, she played into that, and then she had like a word in the last part, like, now Jaguar Wright is trying to find fame as being a celebrity gossip blogger, and you all had to watch it. And I cried throughout the whole documentary. I cried throughout the whole documentary. But that last part of her showing when she was in the ambulance, so I guess somebody commented in there when she was on Instagram Live. They said, is the EMT people nervous? Are y'all nervous? I'll be nervous too. First of all, you a black woman yelling this phone, threatening this guy named Storm. Probably need to put you in a mental hospital. Anywho, we talked about that, but make sure y'all go and check out this documentary. I give this documentary 2 stars. I really cried. Like, only one critique. I really wish the guy that Jaguar Wright alleged that he arred her, I wish that he would have got interviewed. The sister, did not get interviewed. But the sister said this, because Tasha K, when she opened up the documentary for us to see it, she said the sister told her on the record that her father, which is Jaguar Wright's daddy too, is, I think, schizophrenic. I think he have schizophrenia, or did he have a mental illness? Schizophrenia, he was in the service. I believe it's schizophrenia. And that the father is schizophrenic. Because he served in the service, I could believe that he probably like served in Vietnam. There's no telling where did he serve, what part of where he served. But a lot of people that was in the service, came out with schizophrenia or some type of mental illness. So it do kind of ran in the family on that father's side. And it's so sad to see this, and it's very hardening. And if this is about the surviving, Jaguar Wright, if y'all didn't see the documentary, with the mother piece, if you're getting $6,000 of your mother money and she getting evicted, that's painful and that's hurtful and that's wrong and that's dirty. But I'm saying, like, why don't other family members step up legally and try to take this to court so this mama can get her money so she can live? So I had so many questions in this documentary. If I was in press and they was doing a press conference, I would ask the niece and I would ask cousin, are y'all going to take any legal actions to help your aunt and grandmother to get access to her money so she can live, so she don't be homeless out there on the street? That's the piece I didn't like. Because if Jaguar Wright if it is true that she got all this money, as to her mother's money, her pension, and she ain't doing right, somebody else in that family needs to take mama to the courthouse and take this to the judge. So that's the piece of that. But I literally give this 2 thumbs up. I do. I still give the documentary 2 thumbs up because I was thoroughly entertained. 2 thumbs up. If it was 5 stars, I give it a 4.9. The reason why I give it a 4.9 out of 5 is because the man that was the one that Jaguar Wright said allegedly touched her did not get interviewed. I would have loved to hear his part. I hear that the niece was saying what she was saying. Okay, you the daughter of, that's your father. I hear you, but you weren't old enough. So I would have rather hear that from him, or I would rather hear even the sister getting interviewed. But Tasha K explained that she didn't want to throw her sister on the bus. But I'm like, those are like serious allegations. You might as well come and speak on it since your daughter is speaking of. Let's speak on it too. Or at least, if you don't want to come on camera, do like an audio interview or something of that nature. But other than that, will you get your $15 worth on this interview? Oh, absolutely. You would get your $15 worth in this interview. I mean, for that documentary. This was like 2 hours, and then the part 1 was like an hour. Baby, you getting that. I've been on Plenty People Patreon, and I don't get half of that type of entertainment. And some of these folks charge 20 to 25. Out of her Patreon, and I think Dr. Larry Reed Patreon, for what they charge, you get your money's worth. I got my money's worth, and I'm looking forward to whatever else we get from this month. Okay? Now, I may be a little biased. I'm going to tell you right there. I may be a little biased. Maybe, because I like Tasha. But the product was good. I just say go watch it for yourself. Don't just take my word for me. Just go watch it for yourself. All right? Okay, now we will open the phone lines and I'll allow y'all to call in, but let me tell y'all something. Well, yesterday I was on Clubhouse and I was so nervous because I was praying about this. I was like, Lord, I really want to, in my spirit, I really want to be close. I really want to apologize to Jason Lee. So on Hollywood Unlocked, he posts his picture and I say, you look good, bro. Just showing love. Because I really wanted to apologize to him because I didn't like the way that I didn't like the way how we broke up, how it happened. So let me give you all a little backstory. So when Jason Lee wrote his book, came out with his book, God has must forgotten about me. And I thought I had a copy of it, but it's around here somewhere. So I reviewed his book, boom, reviewed his book, good. My people, my fans, my supporters sent it to him. It was good connection. And he didn't come on the Wiley Show at the time. At first, when he was live on Instagram, he sent me a link to come on. He sent me a request to come on. I denied it because during that time I was at work, so I couldn't get on his live. But I wanted to interview. Long story short, he didn't do the interview. I get on camera. Let me drink. Let me sip. I get on my camera, I get on my show, and I just start roasting Jason Lee. I got emotional. I got real emotional. I got emotional. I didn't like it. I got emotional. So what did I do? I got up on social media and I just started roasting. And he clapped back and it was good. And I was like, man, and then he had blocked me off Instagram. I'm like, man, I shouldn't have did that. I always do that with good people with a bridge. You know, I always try to burn, I can burn a bridge in a second. So I said, man, this bridge is gone. Really, I don't know if it's burnt or whatever. So let me see if I can rebuild this bridge or try to rebuild it. So I reached out to him and sent a comment. He liked it. I thought it was one of his members, but Clubhouse. So I see him on Clubhouse and I just raised my hand. I was nervous. I raised my hand. Oh my gosh. I raised my hand. Now I'm not going to get into all the details of our conversation on Clubhouse. I'm going to just keep it on what me and him were talking about. I'm not going to get on other components. You had to been there in the room. You heard it all if you were in the room. But I apologized to Jason Lee, whatever. He said, man, it's good. And he was giving me some gems. He's like, you can't be emotional in this business. And you got to be with the winning team, you this and this. And I said, oh, I'm observing and I'm hearing what he's saying, right? And you do have to, and he kept saying, you got to be strategic in this business. You got to be strategic. And I didn't know about being strategic. Baby, I didn't even know how to spell strategic. I still don't know how to spell strategic. I don't. But I understood what he was coming from. Like, yes, you're right. You do have to be strategic in this business. You can't roast and gag everybody. You have to have relationships in this business. So we having a conversation. Other names were dropped, and I'm literally keeping my composure and bringing up the questions for that. And I had to apologize with having the conversation. I don't know how to. Somebody put it in there strategic. STRATEGIC. Okay, thank you for telling me. Love you. And so we were having that conversation about moving strategic in this business. And he's right. So then he was naming other people, and I'm like, because I didn't want to make no big thing out of it. But mind you, when you on Clubhouse, when you in the room, you got hundreds of people in that room that never even heard of the Wiley Show, never you heard of me. So this either can go left or this could be on an even plane. And I said, how can I handle this? So I'm just listening. And sometimes it's best to listen to people that are more successful than you. Come on, somebody. I'm going to repeat that. I'm just going to say sometimes it's best. If somebody are more successful than you, sometimes you should humble yourself and listen. So I was really listening to Jason Lee. And really listening on, because the brother was actually dropping he was dropping some gems. Even though you can say whatever, I'm hearing the gems. Even though I could take out the arrogance, I could take out whatever. Let me hear the gem of what you're saying. Some of the stuff he was saying was exactly right. You can't be so emotional in this business. The most mistakes that I made as a YouTube, as being an entrepreneur, I went on my emotions, and that's why I up in every case, because I go emotional. When I get emotional, I make terrible decisions. But when you take emotionals out and be like, okay, moving strategic, learning different things, building a relationship, you're good. You're great. And I think one of the good things in business too, if you do something wrong, it doesn't make you less of a person. Say, hey, brother, I was wrong. I apologize for that. Would you forgive me? I think that's a powerful thing to do. And so that's what we was doing. And so he's speaking on experiencing it, because I'm on this same business, man. I read his book. So I have somewhat a connection with Jason Lee. He was like, but this ain't no interview. Why? Because I'm trying to get the interview in. Like, what up? He said, you can't record. I'm like, okay, I can start recording. Because I was live streaming on my other YouTube channel. So I had to shut that down, turn it off. And so somebody came on there, Wiley, you were live. I was like, listen, Jason, I took it down. Whatever. But I did tell Jason, I said, listen, I'm going to have a conversation with you. And I'm just going to keep it on Wiley and Jason talking. I'm just keep it on that. I could get messy and name other stuff, but I'm not, because out of the respect of the agreement that we made during that conversation, we talking. This is why it's good to have relationships. And not burn every bridge. So I'm on Clubhouse and everybody's on there talking. Tiffany Haddish hit the Clubhouse. She comes into the room. Now, what if I would have dragged Jason Lee, cussed him out? Then I wouldn't have been invited in the room when Tiffany Haddish came in. She came into the room very humble, very funny, and when you're around celebrities, I tend not to be over like excited, like, oh my gosh, I read your book, and da, 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 da. You know, no. Even though I was saying this stuff on mute, I didn't say it out loud. I'm glad I didn't, because every celebrity don't like hearing that. I like to be laid back. It's in the middle of the night, so I'm just feeling the vibe. And somebody asked a question in Clubhouse. Somebody raised their hand and asked a question. They said, hey, I'm an author of a book, and I want to know how to promote the book. Anybody got some suggestions? So Jason sent it to Tiffany Haddish, because she's a New York Times bestseller author. And then she asked him, said, hey, do you have an agent? He said, no, I'm self-published. And she gave a great suggestion. She said, why don't you read a couple of paragraphs on your Instagram or in the Clubhouse room, ask them to give you suggestions for the book. I mean, about the book, ask you questions about the book. Maybe that can drive up sales. Then I raised up my hand and I said, and I think, sir, that you should give the book to some of these YouTubers, because I review books and that can help drive up sales. Because if I review your book and gave a good review, the 564 people that are watching me will purchase your book. That a lot of them will purchase your book. So I think you should do that. And Tiffany Haddish said, oh, that's a great idea. Jay Silly said, oh, that's a great idea. And I was getting followers off of Clubhouse off of that. And I knew then, and that's something, when I left that Clubhouse meeting, because I stayed until the end. Usually I don't stay until the end, but I stayed for that one because I was on the stage and all that. And I said, you know what, Wiley? That's why it's important to have certain relationships. That's why it's important not to roast and gag everybody, because you lose access or with other people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm on the journey and I'm learning. Let me tell you, let me be the first one to tell you, baby, I didn't always learn that, baby. I drag a lot of people, but I don't do that no more like that. I'm calming down on that too, because you can't drag everybody, because the main one you drag, they can have essence to get you with this person, and that person. And then when you join it and when you in other rooms, you can't be over there overtaking the room. You got to wait your turn. So I spoke when I felt like speaking. I didn't overdo it. And I was just observing. So my DMs, I was getting requests like people want to come on my show and promote their different products. It was just the whole thing. It was a great vibe, great conversation. It was a great spirit. So I knew I was on the right side of history, because I apologized as I said what I went wrong at. And it was a beautiful conversation. It was a beautiful conversation. Yeah, it was some shade thrown here and there. But other than that, it was a beautiful conversation. And it was really, 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 really good. Yeah. So if you ain't on Clubhouse, you're really missing it, because it's some rooms. Now, some rooms on there, we talking about a bunch of bull crap. They be talking about all type of stuff. How to get 3 million subscribers on YouTube. They just be saying stuff that don't be true and all that. But then there's some rooms that you may come in that you could be picking up some gems. Some rooms you go in, and some rooms you go in, you can hear people doing some other stuff. And I rarely use Clubhouse. I just so happened to go there because I was up preparing for this show, rewatching the documentary, so I make sure I get all my facts together. And I went on to that Clubhouse and I had a great time. And Jason Lee was like, yeah, because Wiley, he promoted my book to his fans. He didn't have to say that, but we did do that, right? Come on, somebody. So we had a good time, and I said, wow, I said my show have done a lot of powerful things on this show. And I want to thank the producers. And then while we was doing that, somebody came on the show that watched the Wiley Show. You know what? Somebody hit you have to raise your hands. They raised their hand. They said, Wiley, I'm a fan of your show. And you said you was going to apologize to Jason Lee. I'm so proud of you for what you did. It was really nice. It was really, really nice. Now, I know some people might try to spin this. Let them spin it. But I can just tell you, it was a genuine conversation. And Jason said, we were good. It was good. All right. And every relationships that I had when I went to that club, I walked out the door with them. And I'm still supportive of everybody that I say I support. And that's sort of good. All right. Great author interviews here. Great book reviews on the White. Yeah, if I really rock with you, like I want to tell Tiffany, but it wasn't the time. I want to let her know, like, hey, I read your book. Your book it was so funny, so powerful. I had a good time. And somebody said, Wiley, you should get the audiobook. Now, mind you, I'm not an audiobook fan, But maybe for her book and for 50 Cent book, maybe I would download it on an audiobook to hear what they got to say and have a good time with it, hear what they got to say, and I'll get into it. But let me say this. When I went to the post office yesterday, we're going to open the phone lines. Give me a second. Somebody sent me a card. You know who you is, Wendy Williams caller. So Wendy Williams called. Y'all already know the infamous Wendy Williams caller wrote me a beautiful card. I'm not going to read what she wrote in the card that's private, and left me a nice love token. And it was so beautiful. I went to the P.O. box and I saw that. And mind you, she sent that card earlier this month. And it just sent in my P.O. box. So I read the card and I teared up. I was like, thank you, Wendy Williams caller. Thank you. Give me a second. We booting up the lines. If anybody want to call in, give me a sec. I got the number on the screen. And like I said, if you have a book,
your show now,
send it
press
to me.
1
We can
to
review it.
Your show is scheduled to start in 31 seconds.
Putting you to sleep. Give me a second. Let me see if I can boot up the lines. Okay. All right. We're going to open up the phone lines, and I'm going to tell you about this other gift I got on there. Give me a second. Let me put the number on the screen. If anybody want to call in.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
Right. So, Wiley, do Tasha K documentary Jaguar Wright have a premiere showtime, or you can watch the documentary anytime? Listen, it is on her Patreon. You have to pay the money over there. It's available over there. It's a $15 sign up. That's patreon.com/Tasha K. I don't know the premiere date for YouTube. So, family is just on Patreon as of right now. I don't know the premiere. She says she will put it on YouTube, but we do not have that premiere date as of yet. But it is available on Patreon, and you can sign up for the $15 tier, and you will be able to see it. So while I was at the P.O. box, somebody gave me a box of cards. I'm like, why y'all gonna do this? So the person told me they was gonna give me a box of cards as a joke, right? Because we don't do cards over here. But I'm like, sis, you got it. What this all about? And I'm like, because some of these people make good money on these cards. Okay. All right. So they gave me a box of these cards of the moon cards and oracle cards or something like, these cards. I'm like, okay. So I don't know how that's gonna go. Gave a box of the different cards, and I'm like, okay. I don't know how to do a test run of these cards. We're gonna talk about the Jaguar Wright interview because this is not me. As one of our producers see, y'all be sending me stuff, and then I get dragged, but I'm here for it. I'm gonna just see about it. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna get a little practice here. All right. So if you want to speak on the Jaguar Wright interview, Jaguar Wright documentary, the surviving Jaguar Wright documentary, you can. The number is 646-716-8447. 1838, call you on air.
Hello, how you doing this morning, brother?
Hey.
Okay. I wanted to talk about the documentary. I think Tasha did her thing on it, even though I never watched it yet. But based on a couple of people's reviews on it, it seemed very intriguing. It's stuff like this with the documentary is the reason why Tasha K is the queen of YouTube, because she does things that nobody else can do. That's in her peers. But I do want to say this to you as a content creator when it comes to doing reviews on her documentary. If you could take this slight criticism, and what I would say is, when you do a review, I feel like you should just do an overview, but you did play by play, which can be turned off to some people who might want to still watch the documentary, because we might want some suspense to what the documentary is about instead of already feel like we already know what happened.
But let me tell you this. She said she don't mind us doing reviews on the documentary. She says she don't care if we do reviews. We just couldn't play it. And a lot of people, I would say it actually helped because a lot of people say, hey, I signed up while I'm about to watch it. You gave your review, I went to watch it. So it's actually helping a lot of people. This is not like a movie or something. This is a documentary that a lot of people pretty much already know what is going to be in there, first of all, because if you know anything about what Jaguar Wright said, you pretty much can put 2 + 2 together of what it's going to be about, just even judging on the previews. But yeah, she said we could do reviews on it, and I've done it. If mine's just a little bit in depth, that's just how we do it over here. Because I was really into it, but it didn't stop nobody from watching. A lot of people got their mind made up. Period. That they watched it on Patreon, and guess what? A lot of people gonna watch it on YouTube, and guess what? I'm gonna watch it on YouTube as well.
Oh no, I don't want you to take it the wrong way. I ain't mean no disrespect when I said that.
It's no disrespect at all. If she say, "Hey, you give," if anybody sees something, people gonna review it. Just like if you have a show and you watch a show, if you didn't watch Power, then don't tune into it when they say review because you already know that's gonna be like a spoiler in the first place. You know what I'm saying? It's plenty YouTube channels that review shows, and if you don't watch, and some people, let's say, don't even watch Power like that, but they're just tuning into the reviews. But do that stop Power for getting ratings? No, people still watch Power, so it is what it is. But you know, people love me to review the show, and they still gonna watch it when it come out. Because like I said, most of them ain't gonna believe that I'm saying it. They think I'm making it up. Because some didn't even pay their $15. So we'll see how that goes when it come out. But is this gonna stop her from being successful? No, we don't have that type of reach to stop her from being great. She's gonna be great. The documentary is gonna reach wonders. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, I understand that. I wasn't saying that she did not want you to review her documentary. I just said when you did play by play, it's like you told everything that happened in the documentary instead of telling like certain parts and left some stuff to suspense where the audience could watch it for themselves.
Right, but they still gonna watch it. You think they not gonna watch? You think these people not gonna watch that documentary? Baby, they still gonna watch that documentary.
You might be right, but it's just some people might be turned off.
Let me be honest with you. The reviews get more promo for Patreon. Because what that does, it's other things that's on Patreon. So you're gonna go, and it's a lot of people that is on there. Because when I went over there, it was a lot of people over there already watching. So all that's gonna do is make people go over there and pay their money. And for those that's not, they not. But you already paid your money, right? Did you view it already?
I'll view some of it. I gotta review some more later, but like
yeah, you already paid your money and review some of it. You gonna review it? Is that gonna stop you from reviewing the rest of the part? No. You gonna be right over there watching it.
Okay, well we could agree to disagree, but you have a good morning. I truly appreciate the opportunity to talk to you.
You have a good morning. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Right, because he already watched it, so he gonna go and watch the rest of it today. All right. Let's go to the next caller. 4334, calling on air.
Hey, Wiley, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, you know what, Wiley? Yesterday I was doing a lease for my tenant, and I'm on Clubhouse, and I had a notification pop up like Wiley and Jason Lee. I'm like, what? So you know I had to join in.
So what did you think about?
Now you know the shade. Well, the shade that he was throwing this Storm, I was kind of dumbfounded by that. I'm like, what did Storm say about him? Why is he so upset?
So you were there. So you were there.
I was there.
Okay.
Yeah, I was listening for a minute. I couldn't understand the shade, why he was throwing all that shade at Storm. And Storm is not even fat. He's just short and a little chunky. But he getting it together. So Jason, your fat ass used to be fat ass. Why are you throwing all this shade at this man? Did I miss something?
But why you didn't raise your hand and ask him? I would have raised my hand and asked him.
I told you I was doing the lease.
Oh, you was on the lease.
I was filling out a lease. I was doing the lease for my tenant. So I'm, doing my work and listening. So I didn't have time to participate. But I was just, why is he throwing all this shade at Storm? I just couldn't get it. I didn't understand it. But you know what? I'm proud of you because you did maintain, because it seemed like he was trying to bully you a little bit. And whoever that other caller was, that came on and said, like, I didn't understand what he was talking about. like you was throwing him under the bus or something, but I don't know.
Because my thing is this, if I've learned this, as when you get mature, your issue is your issue. It ain't my issue. It ain't no they issue. That's that particular. So whatever it is, I didn't know. That's why I'm saying, like, oh, you could have raised your hand and asked, but you were busy. But you should have raised your hand.
Yeah, I was busy, and you know what? I did appreciate the way you maintained, and you were trying to get in your questions to make it like an interview.
Yes,
but it did seem kind of bullyish, and then he just kept shading Storm, just kept going to that.
I just think that when successful people they get, I think when you're successful, you pick up a trait of you tell it like it is, no filter, like. It is that way, and I think his success, the way how he operates, I think that's just the way it is. And I don't think he means harm by it. I just think that, you know, I don't know, because I would have to do my due diligence, because I was dumbfounded, because I don't know, you know, what was said. Honestly, I really don't know. I would have to like do my research and get more of an understanding. But I should have asked him a question. Hey man, what did such and such, but I didn't. I was up there trying to make sure that we were good and me and apologize. But oh wow, so you were there. I was shocked. I didn't know any of my people was in the room. I'm shocked that you were there.
Yes, I was in the room, and I wanted to take up for you because it did seem like they was like really trying to come down on you and trying to get you to admit that Storm is gay. You was like, well, he said he's not gay. Like, why y'all keep going with this narrative, you know?
Right, because I'm gonna tell you again, like anytime when somebody try to force me to say something about somebody's sexuality that I don't know, I don't say it. The same way I didn't let my uncle know when he asked me, is my best friend gay? I didn't let nobody, because that's not my place to do that. If I don't have no of it, that's not my place. If that person say, if a person come to me and say, hey, I'm straight Wiley, this it is, I have nothing but to believe it. I can't try to force you out of something. That ain't my place. That's your place. That is your decision. I just don't operate like that. You know what I'm saying? Unless, you know, if I know somebody like that. So that ain't my place. That's what I was getting into.
Yeah, I mean, you was steadfast in that. You was like, he said he's not gay, so I don't believe he gay. Like, what's the problem? Like, I don't care. People spin that narrative about Storm. I don't care if that man gay or not gay. He say he's not gay. He's not gay. I don't care. I don't want to sleep with him, so why do it matter? You know? But, yeah, it just seemed kind of weird how he just kept going back to that. I'm like, you, this successful person, like he kept saying. But you know what?
It's probably something with that. It's probably some were said and he felt he got offended or what was said. It is what it is. It would have been hot if he would have just pulled up on Clubhouse. If he would have raised his saying that man just go ahead. I don't know. That's the messy part of me. But yeah, and then but after that piece, the room I met so many great people, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes you have to just wait it out and see how things go. It ended really well. And I know you didn't look at the whole thing because it was like literally like 3-4 hours. Like 3-4 hours when we were in
there. I had to leave, but I was just like, oh, I didn't like the way they were trying to kind of bully you and kept bringing up the same thing. Because Jason Lee was telling you not to get emotional, but it seemed like to me, like Storm hit a nerve with him because he just kept going. And I'm like, what the hell did Storm say to you or about you? Because I don't remember him saying nothing. But, you know, I don't catch all of his shows, but I catch most of them.
Right, because the reason I didn't know, because I'll be like too busy trying to do my show and trying to take my show in another direction. But, well, thank you for calling in. Anything else you want to say other than that?
No. Well, other than I love you and I'm wishing you much success, and sir, you will get there. We will be looking at 100,000.
We will. I think I want to say this, ma'am. My career, because right now we're stagnant.
Don't call me damn Wiley.
Okay.
I ain't old.
Okay, sis. Okay. I think right now, in my career, it's like right. Okay, we are a little slow. I just think that I know that I'm gonna manifest this. We're gonna get a hot story, and for that point, it's just gonna be on and popping. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a hot story. Yeah. We're gonna be on and popping. That's what we need. We gotta find our niche of a hot story or something going to pop. It's going to be something of that nature this year. And then next year, we're just going to be gaining in subscribers. Because YouTube work like 1 month, you would be real slow in subscribers. Then the next month, you get like 8, 10, 12,000 subscribers. But you can't give up doing the slow part because some people get burnt out when they don't get that type of support. They give up, but you can't. You got to still be, because this is a marathon. This is not like a, what do they call that? A sprint. This is literally a marathon. Yeah. So I know my season, my days, it haven't come yet, but it will come. I know it. I believe it. Just as long as you keep supporting.
Oh, it definitely will.
Yes.
It definitely will. Just stay humble. Stay working hard like you do. You putting out these lives, and you're going to keep growing and growing. On. So, but I love you, Wiley.
Love you.
Okay, I get out so
all right,
somebody can call you.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Wow, wait a minute. Some people was actually in the Clubhouse. All right, Anonymous, you live on the air.
Hey, Wiley.
Good morning.
I had to call back because to give y'all the background why Jason Lee do not like Storm Monroe.
Okay.
At first, Storm Monroe used to review his book, and they was cool. They had a good relationship. Mm-hmm. What the turning point was when, remember, Jason Lee had called Tasha K. Baby a gremlin. Instead of Tasha K. going in on Jason Lee, she sent 3 people to Storm to give their story about working for Jason Lee, which was Chelsea and Nicole, who worked for Tasha K, and then another woman who worked somewhere else, but they used to work for Jason Lee, and they wasn't treated well. And Storm Monroe did those stories on his platform about working for Jason Lee and his background and the accusations that were made about Jason Lee. In addition to, remember when the guy that did the gagging at the bus station? Mm-hmm. Storm Monroe had interviewed him as well. And so that's the reason why Jason Lee has a beef with him, because of that situation. And so they had a problem with each other ever since Jason Lee called Tasha K. Baby a gremlin, and then Tasha K. sent those stories to Storm Monroe about the working practices with Jason Lee and Hollywood Unlocked with Chelsea and Nicole, who works for Tasha K. now, and then the other woman who works for him, and then the gagging guy. And so I just want to call back and let everybody know that's the reason why Jason Lee has a problem with him. And that is the story behind it.
All right.
Have a good day.
Thank you for giving us the backstory. All right. Give me a sec. I'm going to post our link to our Patreon. Thank you. All right. Let's go to the next caller. 5840. Call you on the air. He called in. He was 5848. Give me a second. All right, hold up. Can y'all still hear me? All right, because it's not working. All right. 5848. I'm sorry, 5840. I'm sorry.
Hey, good morning.
Good
First
morning.
of all, I just want to say the way that Wiley reviews anything, he has his base. We love it. We love Wiley for being Wiley. So if Wiley reviews something to the full extent, that's making us want to go see it even more.
Right.
So I'm sure Wiley was the cause to have more people go on Tasha K's platform to watch it as well. So don't change. Keep doing you. And for Jason
because what
Lee,
it does with the Patreon. Oh, go ahead. Oh, I want to cut you off. Go ahead and finish your point.
No, you can talk about Tasha K because I'm gonna jump on Jason.
Oh no, because
so what
I was saying about Tasha K, because it promotes too. It promotes the document and her Patreon. People forget that piece. You know what I'm saying? So let's just say if 20 people right now, based off of Wiley review, go to her Patreon, that's literally like $300 that she made. You get what I'm saying? So more and more people that goes to her Patreon and hears it, just driving it will go. That make people go. It's not a turn off for people. No, people are gonna go and watch that documentary and see what's else going over there. But go ahead. What you about to say?
Yeah, so everyone do reviews differently.
Right.
But to Jason Lee, I want to know, I'm not a medical professional, but I want to know, were you bullied when you were a child? Were you bullied when you were in school? Were you bullied when you were fat, being that you had surgery? You get what I'm saying? Because you just kept saying Storm is fat, and
but then again, though, Icon, not to cut you off, if he feel like Storm interviewed his ex-employees and they had whatever they had, that means they got a back and forth beef. So I don't know all what was said. So I don't know, because like the person that called in and elaborate. See, I didn't watch. I don't know the full background. Best believe I'm going to be watching some old videos once I'm off this live, and I give you an updated info of what really went on, because I'm going to be doing my research, because I would like to know what was Storm clap back to Jason and why was Jason feeling this way. So best believe I will get. But go ahead.
Yes, so we would love that, because I would like to know further in depth as well. But just the way that, because you went to get surgery, don't give you the right to just talk about somebody being fat and all that, in my opinion. But like you said, I don't know the full extent.
Yeah, because I don't know. Because what if he would have said something about they call each other fat? I don't know, because I don't know, because I do remember when the whole Gremlin thing came out. I remember that, but then somebody said it wasn't her child, it was Storm he was talking about. I do kind of remember that, because remember that was like a big thing. What happened? Was he talking about her on Hollywood? I'm gonna do my research, folks. Don't call me up, but go ahead. That was my last time cutting you off. Go ahead, Icon.
Yes, so and also he has to remember he came from nowhere. He wouldn't be where he's at now if it wasn't for what is the name? The boxer?
Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather.
Mm-hmm. And that's the
so he can't just keep throwing shade like you're up there, you're there. And I believe you using Wendy Williams. He's using Wendy Williams for clout as well. You don't have to throw Wendy Williams' name last night. You could have just said you've been around people.
Oh, you was there last night too?
No comment.
Oh my God! Let me find out that the producers be in the bushes. Because you ain't had to say no comment, player. You said enough, but go ahead.
Jason Lee was just feeling himself, but it's cute because we're the girls. Like, we're entitled to do that. But my thing is, he tried to mess you up because you called Storm a girl. We're T. So that's how we talk, even though the person is not gay. We be like, oh yeah, we the girls. Like, sometimes it slip up. So Jason Lee, don't do that.
Yeah, because if I did say that, it's probably was a mistake, because usually I do mistake and I talk to a lot of girls.
That's how we talk.
Like a lot, right? I talk to a lot of female calls, so it's probably a mistake on my end. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I didn't even know.
He was trying to get some out of you,
right? Because I'm like, listen, this ain't about other people. This is about me trying to apologize. But again, it's about who you align yourself with. Like, sometimes when people can't get to that person, they put it out on you, and that's okay. I didn't cuss. I didn't get out of character. I let him say what he said. And then if you would have listened through the whole one, it was a blessing, because I was able to meet different people, different authors, different business people, learning different things about life.
And Tiffany Haddish.
Right, Tiffany Haddish. That was a blessing. Now, okay, yeah. Icon. Now, what if I would have just cussed him out? I would have got blocked. You understand what I'm saying? That's why everything is not cause for you cussing out. Everything is not cause to that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just have to sit and be observant, I would say.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, he was making good points. So yeah, you do need good people in the industry that you're definitely working in. Okay, you need allies as well. So I'm just saying to you, play your cards right.
Amen. You're right.
With everyone. Okay.
You have to, and you just be observant, and you're right. And I thank God for my audience. And it was, like I said, last night I really had a good time, because I rarely be in Clubhouse for that many hours. I stayed in there. It was about 4 to 5. It was long.
Because he did mention something about Amar Wiggins. He did say how you want to meet Wendy Williams, or I can't quote him, but something said you want to meet Wendy Williams, but you drag her.
Right. He said if you want a relationship with Wendy, okay, if you say you want a relationship with Wendy Williams, you got to be careful how you address her. do commentary. And I agree with him on that, because it would be kind of hard to say, hey, I want to be a Wendy, but then early in the morning or all your episodes, you dragging her. So why would you want to be on the show?
Because they are going to watch back. Yeah.
They're going to watch it. People are going to watch it. Producers going to watch it. These people, they watch things, and you think they're not watching, baby, they on there, they watching. Like, people are watching me. Okay, let's see if he going to say something out of pocket. I ain't saying nothing out of pocket, but the viewers saw what they saw, and hey, you have to respect it.
But not trying to say if you want to meet somebody but still do your content.
You still do your content. But you know,
content.
I get it. You can still do your content, just like, you know, Wendy Williams' brother. Let me say this. Before I went live, Wendy Williams' brother, early in the morning, if you subscribe to him, he released the video. He took it down. He was up there still talking about Wendy Williams, still trying to spill tea. So I posted it, and I'm like, bro, your sister can kind of help you in the business. Why are you still saying the same story? You're not going to really grow like that. You're telling the same thing. Try to resolve that issue with your sister and build a bridge that she can help you with the business. I guess he read my comment and took it down, because they was like, do you work with the Wendy Williams people? I said, no, I don't work with the Wendy Williams people. I'm just saying, if Wendy Williams is my sister, I would try to work on that relationship and have her to help me with my production skill. And right or wrong, you have somebody that's already in the business. Because if you're just telling your family grievances, how's that going to help you with your relationship with Wendy? It's going to just continue to destroy it, because we're going to be over it. It's only going to last for a season. Once the movie and documentary come out, we ain't gonna be paying the brother no more mind like that. And then how are you gonna keep the attention of the people? And he know once he, you know, on his show, once he lose that, then he goes back to try to drag Wendy Williams or address Wendy Williams. You know, that's what I wanted to say. I just want to let y'all know I left a comment in there. He took the video down. But go ahead, Icon.
And my last thing before I hang up, I just want to say you're doing a great job. Keep it up. And also, it's because of you that I watch Hollywood Unlocked. It's because of you that I watch Gagging, because you talked about Jason Lee, and I'm one of the girls. I didn't know of him. You read his book and you put me on.
Yes.
So I want to say thank you, even though I be in the bushes.
Yes,
and watching his show.
Like, you know, sometimes I do go over there and I watch, you know what I'm saying? I watch Gagging, because whatever you mention on your show.
The last episode I watched was with Funky Dineva, and that was really lit.
Yeah, it was.
It was a kiki.
It was. It really was.
So, yeah.
And somebody left a comment in there, because you know he announced a show with Maddie, Funky, you know, Armand. And somebody said, is you gonna bring them on Gagging? And he said, yes, I'm gonna bring them on Gagging. I'm like, I'm living for that episode. I don't want to be in the chat. I just want to watch it and review it. And people get mad. This is the thing, y'all. People get so mad when I be reviewing shows. You need to stop piggybacking on these. You listen, I watch it. I think that I want to review it. It's nothing wrong with what I'm saying. But yeah, I think that would be dope for bringing them on Gagging. I think that would be fun to see that.
Sorry. I just have to be a little messy before I get off the hat. What I wanted you to ask Jason Lee was, being that you asked about Kyer, and he's stealing her.
Oh my god!
But I wanted you to ask so bad, like, the T.S. Madison, that the Amal Wiggins has something to do with that.
I don't know, and people kept telling me to ask these questions about that, but that wasn't my fight. I know. I did.
You were just trying to
right. I was trying to
basically.
So absolutely. That's like for another day that I can like ask him about the whole thing. But yeah, he posted on his Instagram that he purchased her Gagging and Gag Nation. So somebody said, well, did she? Somebody said, well, did she buy Thug Missus? So he was like, well, my lawyer's gonna look into that. I'm like, child.
Kaya needs to get it together. Whoever's on Kaya's team, you guys need to get it together.
And this is the thing.
Someone else call
thank you. And she got the money. Just pay your lawyer. She comes with great ideas.
But the lady that was going off on you, that was next to her, she was doing all that. Why she's not telling Kaya these things? But she's telling about the B sector.
She know about the B sector, right? Dragging me. Talk about the B sector. Why you ain't telling Kaya to get her lawyers to protect her bags? Like, me personally, I don't want you to be, she's been in the business for so long. And the different thing is, will Kaya be open up to listen to that advice? Because sometimes you don't want to listen to that. I don't want to do that. But it's okay to protect your brand. It is okay.
Exactly.
You gotta protect the brand, like, because she be coming with great ideas, and I don't want her to keep coming with great ideas, and everybody else is eating off there, and then they take you down for using that person idea. All right, well, we thank you, Icon. You came in being
No
messy, but I'm
problem.
here for it.
All right, go back in the bushes.
Okay. Let's go back. Let's go to the phone lines. Anonymous, you live on the air. Anonymous.
Okay, thank you. I had to call back to explain what the 3 women that interviewed with Storm was about that made Jesse Lee upset.
Okay.
They basically accused Jason Lee of being not only a colorist, but he will pay the white people that work for him at Highwell Lock and make the black people like interns to make them pay their own way, in addition to working them hard and not giving them compensation. Now, I'm not going to go too detailed with it because I really want you to watch the interviews yourself with Storm Monroe. But it was the 3 women, like I said, Chelsea, Nicole, like I said, the other woman, and then the gagging guy. And I guess, Storm Monroe, he maybe said a comment here or there, or he maybe left, and, that could rub somebody the wrong way. It's no different than if me and another guy got in an argument, and somebody that's supposed to be my friend start laughing, I'm gonna be just as mad at my friend as I'm gonna be with the other guy I'm arguing with, because I'm feeling like, if you my friend, why are you laughing? Why, man, this guy, having an argument. You should try to, stay neutral and break it up. So it might be one of those, guilt by association, or maybe Storm has said something during the course of those interviews that maybe rubbed them the wrong way. But have a good day.
All right. Well, thank you so very much. You see that? All right. He broke that man called it. That's what I'm talking about. That call and said, I'm gonna call in and tell y'all what happened. That man called in 3 times. Okay. He said, let me tell you, this is what happened. He interviewed Chelsea. He interviewed. I said, them the type of producers I need. Come on, producers. I don't know about some of y'all. We get a lot of male callers today. Them male callers, they call it in. So they break it down. They don't play around. Maybe they gonna tell you the whole thing, Wiley. This what happened. He interviewed Chelsea. See, these callers today, they ain't have sleep. They own it today. They ain't have sleep. They ain't cussing me out. They just breaking the whole story down. So shout out to the male callers. That man said, I'm calling back again. See, this is what happened. Them the type of callers I need. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. That's what I'm talking. I want to say, shout out to, we brought back the Wiley in the morning. I am so happy. We back. We're gonna be good morning, everybody. I can't believe it. We brought back the morning show. Man, I'm excited. This is the second morning show we have brought back. And let me tell you, I've watched the inauguration, you guys. Let me tell y'all, I got my life. Jennifer Lopez did an incredible job. The poet, the African-American woman, the young woman, she gave a great poem. It was a great inauguration. It was. But now we got to get to work, okay? We got to get to work. It was a good inauguration. It was great. Joe Biden was out there running. It was great. Now we have to get to work. So if there's any organizations in Dallas, Texas that you think that I should join, that should be about, that should work, send me an email. They have like different events going on. I know most of the stuff is like virtual, but if there's anything dealing with helping people register to vote, get involved, and stuff like that, send me an email. We want to bring people on that is politically engaged, that's doing some in your area, that actually done work. Come on the Wiley Show. Tell us about it at wileyshow@gmail.com. Also, too, Lady Gaga did great, too. Lady Gaga did her thing. I was thoroughly entertained when in this inauguration. It wasn't too long. It did not put me to sleep. President Biden gave an incredible speech. Really, really here for it. But again, I just don't want people to forget that it's going to be a battle to get things done. Though we have the Senate, though we have the 50-50, the Senate, we don't dominate the Senate. I wish that it was more people that was on there, but we shall see how it's going to go. This is why we have to spend time in calling our senator and our Congress to make sure they do their job. Now, a lot of bills have been passed with the George Floyd, with Congressman John Lewis Votes Act. A lot of things have already been passed from Congress that I pray that those bills come out as a vote. Not only pray, that I actually call these senators and do all that. So a lot of things I'm going to be doing as well. So I did watch it yesterday. I didn't come back and do no review because I was burnt out. I had to get some sleep. But let's go to the phone lines. 9967 Carly. 9867 Carly on air.
Hey, Wiley. This is the voice from New York. I was calling. I wasn't sure if you were going to continue talking about the inauguration. That's why I called in. If you're going to have another session about it, I can always call back later. Are you going to do another? Are you going to do I just hear you on the phone, and I was like, oh, snap, let me call in because I had some thoughts about the inauguration, and I heard you, and I was like, let me just call in real quick.
Go ahead. What you to say about? I thought it was great. It was a great, and it was great. I really don't be talking about, I was not bored. I will tell you this. Another piece I like when President Obama, President Bush, and President Clinton, all three of them, when they were talking. Did you hear that? Did you see that? Because they were showing that on CNN. I actually thought that was great as well. But go ahead. What was your thoughts?
Well, I think it was good as well. These are my only things I didn't like. One, I know I didn't like the fit that Kamala had with the purple. Like, I feel like the outfit was too boxy because she doesn't have great style as of right now. Okay, I'm just being completely honest. She's not stylish. I think Michelle Obama stunted on everybody.
Oh, yes.
It wasn't anyone's inauguration. It was Michelle Obama inauguration. It was Michelle Obama here that late. First of all, Michelle is a person that is not the birthday girl, but is upstaging the birthday girl. She came in. First of all, you know you look fly if it's cold outside and you got your jacket open. That means you want everyone to see your outfit because everyone's jacket was closed. Michelle was like, no, you're going to see everything from top to bottom. She came out like she was a pro fight of a sorority and she's about to watch her Neos cross over. Okay, do you not see the bounce in her hair? And then her man looks good next to her? Chef kiss.
I just think, honestly, Michelle, what gets me with Kamala Harris, she should get the same stylist that styled Michelle Obama. I don't know who she had. It wasn't the best. Michelle was the best dressed. You're right about it. She had that swag. Michelle came through it. And I think Michelle was relieved that because she couldn't stand the Trumps. So she came. She said, okay, I'm here. She did. Even who else was looking good? Because I posted it on my Instagram. Shout out to the people. Okay, so this is what I expected. I understand that. I heard the reason why Kamala wore purple was to give, credence to Shirley Chisholm. I think that's why she wore purple. I expect Kamala to wear pink or green, salmon pink or apple green. That's what I expected because she is a part of a sorority. If not that, I expected to see like a lapel pin saying that she's part of a sorority with the pearls on. That's what I was expecting. Because if Lakeisha Bottoms was VP, I'm sure she would have worn red. She would have duck walk, elephant herself with her duck walk right there, or at least put up a symbol or anything like that. Like something to show that. Because you're more than I know it's like hard to do, but that's what I expected. I mean, I can only imagine if Omega was a president. Jill, the first lady looked good too. Jill, she looked, the first lady looked nice.
Yeah,
too.
everyone looks better than Kamala, in my opinion. But then remember when Michelle used to be president, she had like a slow walk towards styling, right? And she got better as she went along. But Jill looks good too. Like Like the way her coat fits looks good. And let's be honest, like Bernie Sanders came as how every regular person is supposed to come. It is cold. It is winter. Let's get dressed up. I'm only here for a short time, not for a long time, and let's wrap it up. Okay,
Baby,
like
Bernie came with his thing with his some papers on a folder. He came there looking like, hey, I'm only here for a while. This on my first stop. He was sitting around no phone. He had his legs crossed. I mean, Bernie.
I mean, Bernie was everything because his picture can literally go in any situation. You know, he looked like he's tired. He looks like I'm not here for the whole entire time. Well, I got to go to the post office. I got to go, you know, to the DMV. He looks like I'm ready to go. Let's wrap it up with my mittens on, and I'm good to go. I love how Bernie looked because he looked the most realistic. He wasn't there for style. He was there for, it's cold. I'm not trying to get no walking pneumonia, and I'm trying to make sure I'm warm by myself.
And
also,
that's why I'm glad they didn't rush. I'm glad that they got it in, got it out, because it was cold. Because them people, yeah.
With the performances, I don't know who worked harder. The devil worked hard, but J-Lo's agent worked harder.
Come on.
J-Lo has no talent. Okay, she has no talent. But let's be honest. She got Super Bowl. Okay, she performed for the inauguration. Like, and she performed one other big event. She performed at New Year's Eve, I believe.
Yes, she did.
And I'm like, she has no talent. She has no talent. Who is her agent? Because
our agent is great. Her agent is great. Is very. They were talking about that last night. I was in a room in a clubhouse, and shout out to her team. Shout out to her team.
Yeah, she doesn't have a talent. She doesn't have any talent. She can't sing. As soon as she started, I'm like, you're too much into this field to be singing from your throat and not your diaphragm. Okay, she doesn't sing from her diaphragm because all her vocals are Ashanti vocals. I'm surprised Ashanti wasn't in the back singing for her. Now, I did like how she slipped in Live Out Loud. I did like it. Okay, but I mean, I felt like, yeah, she could have did a little better. I love her styling. The person who sang the gentrified Amazing Grace, that thing was pitiful. I did not feel my ancestor spirit when Amazing Grace was sang. They could have got anybody. I mean, I'm not even a singer. You could have brought me up there. Better yet, you had Obama who sang Amazing Grace. You could have brought him up there. But Garth was not it for me. It was not it for me. I'm like, where's Billy Ray? And I don't feel it right now. They could have got Amber Riley. They could have got Jennifer Hudson.
But
this is amazing.
I think with Joe Biden, I think with the inauguration of the committee, they wanted a view of America. They wanted like a country singer. They wanted to be really diverse. You know what I'm saying? But they could have picked somebody a little bit better for Amazing Grace.
Where's the black people? Where's the black artist?
They had the black poet, right? So they had that is for poetry. Then they had, somebody represented Hispanic J-Lo. Then they had Lady Gaga represented. Then they had somebody represent the country, like a country singer. I think he's a country singer, is he? I don't know. And then they had the black preacher at the end doing a benediction. So they tried to make sure everybody was being felt and represented doing that inauguration. Another piece, the guy, the Eugene, the officer, he's now the sergeant of arms in the Senate. He was helping Vice President Harris, escorting her around, and he got him a job. Now he gonna get him a nice check, a good check.
Oh, and I love that though, Wiley. See, it's not how you start. It's how you finish.
Yes.
You see, God had something for him. It was like, this year is going to be your year.
That's
okay?
His year.
He could have lost his life on the 5th or the 6th. And they said, you know what? You've been handpicked by the Wakandians to be now the sergeant of arms. You see how God does it? So he out here getting paid. He even had a Gucci scarf around his neck.
Okay.
All right, remember, he took up the rent-a-cop. Now he's all stylish. I'm like, okay, this is the real glow up. This is the real glow up. When it's your time, it is your time. Okay? And he didn't expect this. No, he didn't. The blessing just happened to fall upon his lap.
I heard that.
And that's what happened.
Thank you,
So,
Thank you.
I was extremely happy about that.
Okay.
There's 2 more comments. I'm so happy of that young poet. I think her last name is Gorman. She was amazing. And what I love about her is the fact that she has a disability, quite few disabilities, and she's able to overcome them through her poetry, through her skills.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she's very powerful, and I'm glad we have a Black woman, a Black young lady who's unambiguously Black, who's well spoken to represent America and was very touching. Okay, because she was like a voice for those young kids who probably do have a learning disability, who feel like they can't accomplish certain things, and she was able to do so. So that was a powerful message, and I loved her. Lastly, this Katy Perry outfit with I don't know what Katy Perry wore. Okay, she had on first of all, she had white shoes. If you're Jamaican, you don't really wear white shoes after Labor Day. But then she got on a cape. Then she has like a corset underneath the cape. Then she had a train and long skirt. You talking about
Lady Gaga, right? You talking about? I think that was Gaga. You talking about Lady Gaga?
No, not Lady Gaga.
Oh,
no. Lady Gaga looks good. Lady Gaga looked like the lady from Hunger Games with the pink and the little bird. She looks good. Katy Perry is the one who sang Fireworks.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I know.
Okay, like you need to see her outfit. It was a hot mess. it was a fashion zone. She had it's like having 5 hairstyles into one, and you're like, girl, what are you trying to do? What was she trying to make? She was too overdressed. Sometimes simple is less is more. Okay, less is more. But yeah, I'm so happy about this whole entire presidency. I just hope that 1, our loans be eradicated. Okay, that's important. Or no interest. 2, they do what they say they're going to do for the Black community. Mm-hmm. So we got to put pressure on the team like diamonds to make it work, because we always forgotten.
Facts.
And we're the one who made this happen.
All right.
Okay. And hopefully, while we hear more about your political,
you will. I'll definitely, because I'm already in the process of doing some things, so you're going to see me more politically engaged, and I'm excited for it. I'm really, really excited. And you're going to be seeing, different experts coming on the Wiley Show as well. I just got to be shaking hands and, what I'm saying, putting boots on the ground as well. So thank you.
No problem. Let me get off the call because your chatters be coming at me all the time, so I'm taking up time. But yet they don't call it.
Yeah, they don't.
But yet they don't call it.
Right. You can do whatever. Come on.
We'll love you. Show as always.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. We have a next caller on the line. Shout out to her. 9542. Caller, you on air.
Hey, Wiley. Good morning.
Good morning.
That lady, oh gosh, I can't shade the caller, so I won't do that. She is a supporter. What I was calling to say really was, I don't pay that much attention to the fashion part of what was going on at the inauguration or whatever. I watched it here and there. I was busy. I was cleaning and watching it at the same time. But my thing is what I'm afraid of. With this new regime, with everybody being so excited, yes, it's a turn from what we had. But how do you think Biden and Kamala will attack these issues that they put on the table? Because historically, politicians will say anything to be elected, and then once they're elected, it pretty much is the same soup warmed over. So, I wonder, what promise do you see which gives you this much excitement? Is it just that Trump was the president for 4 years, or do you really know the politics of these people? Because a lot of times I listen to a lot of news, whether it's a lot of progressive news, and I don't know, she has some policies that scare me, for instance, she, I don't know. I just wanted to know what you think.
Well, for me,
what gives you hope?
What gives me hope is that I'm going to be more engaged by calling my senators, by calling my Congress, by being more active, right? And what gets me that, because a lot of things have passed in the House, and I just want people to understand the process. We just look at the president and we forget the House, we forget the Senate, we forget about state representatives, we forget about the city council, we forget about these other pockets of our political system, right? But I think if it gives me hope is that I'm going to get more active in it, right? And by calling our senators to make sure that they lift every voice and saying that bill up for a vote, by putting the George Floyd Act up for a vote in the Senate. A lot of things have already passed in the House. They just have to pass it in the Senate. So my hope is that I continue to pick up the phone and we continue to do that and we continue to support. That's how we're going to get things done. But it's not going to happen if we just sit on the sidelines, be excited, and don't do nothing. No, you actually got to work, because all these other groups, they lobby for things for their community. Us as African Americans, we have to lobby for our own interests. Right. We just can't do it by.
That's what I was saying.
That what gives me hope, and I hope other people follow suit by doing it. But I must first be the first partaker, and then for that. So that's why I am going to be calling my senator today and calling Ted Cruz today, leaving messages, learning these people's names, and then I'm gonna give reviews about my conversations and put it on YouTube, and maybe that will help other people. Okay, Wiley did that. Okay, let me do this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be more active, because that's how we're gonna change it. If we be more active, be like, girl, you know, I went to my senator office today. You know, once the world opened now, we can't do nothing now because they got to shut down. But you still can pick up your phone. You still can call your state representative, your city council worker, all type of stuff you could do. And we have to get involved, and you have to research too about the agenda that Joe Biden, when he, you know, President Biden, he preached on, or that he campaigned on. We have to make sure he do it. But ain't nothing's gonna get past if we just sit on the sideline and don't do nothing. We got to get involved by calling, filing petitions, get involved, get active as well. That's how that's what gives me hope. And seeing Kamala Harris, to see that it's the first woman to actually be VP, that gives me hope, because so women have done a lot for our political system, and they have not been represented in these high places. So to see Kamala, that gives me hope that women can be in those positions, because some people think that all a woman's job is to be in the kitchen cooking, and no, women can be running countries,
right? That's
companies, everything. So that gives me hope seeing that as well.
Right. I agree with you totally on that point. That's why I approach the question as a politician, not as a woman politician. You understand what I'm saying? Right. You know, like her policies, not her person. Her person. And her policies, you can get somebody to play very your hair and give you a good outfit. Right. You can get that. It's about her policies.
Absolutely. It's about her policies. And let me tell you, Kamala Harris is more progressive now. She have not always been progressive. She have been very, even with her criminal justice stuff, she was hard on criminal justice. And some stuff she was on the wrong side of history. But as a senator, she have stood for a lot of progressive policies. She have been more progressive than Joe Biden. But of course, she did not win, but she's the vice president, meaning that she has some type of say in that administration. But what we have to do, man, you see how y'all call into the Wiley Show? We have to also call into our state representative and to our senators. They should know our names.
Oh, I do.
You know, and I think
personally, I'm very involved on a city level, not nothing above that.
Not but what directly affects
myself and my community, then yes, I'm very involved.
And that's good to see, because that's how things is going to change if we get involved. And you never know, somebody might come to you and say, hey, sis, you should run for office. Have you ever thought about running for office? Have you thought about it?
No, never.
You don't want to do it?
I have too much of a past. No.
But you involved, so that's good.
Okay, I just want to end it with one messy thing.
Yes.
I was also in the bushes on Clubhouse. And I just want to say this, Wiley, you be knowing a lot of tea, and people think you just have a big mouth and you just come blah blah blah. You don't. You be holding stuff too.
Right.
You hold stuff too. So the stuff that you put out, that's what you want to put out. But you be holding stuff too.
I do.
So
I have to hold stuff.
Good time
just like with Tory Lanez.
I just wish
somebody just not to cut you off, reminded me that Tory Lanez in the title, but producers, didn't he supposed to have a court date yesterday? And if so, how was that court date? I just put Tory Lanez in the title, or I put him in the picture about the court date, but I didn't hear no updates. But if anybody got an update on Tory Lanez, y'all can call in. But go ahead, sister. But I do be holding back on the tea sometimes.
No,
I do.
No, that's all I wanted to say. I just can't wait to hear your show in the morning. That's all.
Okay,
all right, Wiley, have a good day.
Well, thank you. Okay, he's talking about the call. A lot of folks are putting high expectation in this administration, but will be just as disappointed. But you got to work, you know what I'm saying? And you have to work. You got to get at it. You know what I'm saying? I think it could be some change that could be happening, but we must change ourselves and get involved. All right. So I put Tory Lanez in the picture. Did I put him in the title? Give me a second. Somebody said, "While you be up early." Yes, I do be up early. Give me a second because I want to know what happened with the court date. I guess ain't nothing happened in the court date because I don't see nothing in the news. Nope. I put Tory Lanez in the picture. I was looking. Let me get an update. Hold up, y'all. Let me see. Let me see if it's an update on Tory Lanez because I didn't get no update because he's supposed to have a court date yesterday. Oh, just a picture. Okay. No, I meant to put him inside, but let me see. No update. Do anybody got an update on him? I heard that they was gonna drop the charges. That's what I heard, but don't quote me on that though. Let me check the blogs. They said all charges are dropped. They said all charges are dropped. Really? What? Let me contact somebody. Hold up. I'm about to contact somebody, and I know it's early. I'm about to do something I really do. I'm about to do something I really do. Hold up. That's the update. You believe that is dismissed. Let me contact somebody. Oh, I shouldn't have did. I shouldn't do this, but I'm just gonna ask somebody that would know. 2217 caller, you on the air.
Hey, Wiley, what's going on?
Hey, give me an update. What's going on?
From what I've been reading and seeing, Millie's topic has a question mark behind it. So it's a question asking is all the actual
right?
Because
if they would have dropped the charges, when every blog have it, and I just contacted the blog.
If you notice it was super hush about this whole entire case because they were supposed to have a case. Excuse me, they were supposed to go into court yesterday, and you have not heard anything.
You sure right about
nothing.
that.
There hasn't been any update on any type of, you said, blogs or even in the system about the court case. So to be honest, I feel like I don't know, Wiley. I think the charges might be getting dropped, and they're trying to keep it real hush.
Dropped, why no other blog or no media outlet picked it up though? So when they have TMZ.
I mean, think about it. If the charges are dropped, right, and it's been hush hush, who would that look bad on, Wiley?
That's gonna look bad on Megan, but that's still like big news if the charges are dropped, right? Ain't that like still big news to still report on it? I know that look bad on Megan.
It's huge news, but who is Megan actually under? She's under Rock Nation. You think those people don't own the blogs and stuff like that? Not even own the blogs, but those people are keeping it out of there?
Somebody could say something.
I mean, I think her, but think about it, Wiley. I believe this entire time, let's just set it up, how they set it up. When the situation happened, Megan was allegedly the victim of the shooting, right?
Okay.
And then she set it up on the precedent of Black women issues, right?
Right. Hello.
If you did not do that to her, her career would be over.
So
because she set it up she ran it on the Black women and like you gotta believe victims and stuff like that. Like they had a whole press conference, all this stuff. Not press conference, but like a whole little campaign about that. So if this literally turns out that this man did not do this to her, her career will be over.
But my thing that I don't know if her career would be over. Okay,
yeah, reverse that.
That will be a bad thing for her. I don't think her career will be over. It will be some damage, but I don't think her career will be over. But I'm saying that probably this case was continued and they probably thinking about dropping the charges. But if the charges were dropped, you would be able to get the information like that. I don't believe they dropped the charges because that's a big headline. All charges with Tory Lanez have been dropped. They're going to report on this, right? So I don't believe that the charges dropped.
I agree.
And somebody is actually looking up the court thing. They said it have not been dropped. So if somebody else can call in and get some information, but from my understanding, I'm going to say the charges have not been dropped because if it was dropped, best believe one outlet will put that out. The Neighborhood Talk did not report on it. Ball Alert did not report on it. Hollywood Unlocked, all of them would have been saying something. Because it's so many.
No, my thing was like I said, because someone was saying that Millie put it up there. I said, no, she put it in there as a question mark, are they dropped?
Right.
Yeah,
as a question,
if you've noticed, like you said, there hasn't been any update. He hasn't even, but even though they're not dropped, he hasn't even been charged either. So what's going on?
Oh, but he do have that for last time, right? It could be continued too with a case because anytime anything with court cases, it could be continuous, and we're in a pandemic, so a lot of times you just don't know. So I'm curious to say, even if it was continuous, somebody would have still reported on that. So I'm kind of weird. I'm like, that is quite weird.
Isn't it weird that you don't even hear about a continuance? You don't hear.
I don't hear about a continuance either, right?
Nothing of this case.
Right.
No continuance, no update on if he actually is being charged, on if the charges are actually being dropped. You heard nothing. It's like the case is somehow vanished from headlines, even though they had a court date yesterday.
Yes. So, maybe it's a continuous, but I would definitely read this. I'm gonna look forward to wait and see what Millie's gonna say on her reporting, and I'm gonna have to come back and give an update on this because I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's a great question because they were supposed to be in court yesterday. Somebody sent me a DM, said, hey, they're gonna be in court, and I was waiting on to get an update, and nobody sent an update. Nobody sent an update.
I mean, because they were the actual court date was held via
Zoom
computer, like
right, the Zoom stuff. Right.
Zoom. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word, but it was Zoom, so they weren't even in court. So any type of issue as far as like COVID mandate, that wouldn't be an issue. So something's going on to where ain't nobody got no update, not even an update. Excuse me. Something's going on to where the court.
I'm gonna be on that phone. I call somebody up early. I'm gonna be calling some blogs and be like, "Hey, what's going on? What's going
Come
on?
on now.
What's going on? Because what's going on? But if these okay, let's just say that. Let's just hypothetically the charges are dropped. They couldn't find no evidence. That will be a read to Megan because Tory Lanez gonna be running around. It's gonna be a damage to Megan Thee Stallion brand because they're gonna be like, "Oh, you lied. You didn't really get hit in your pinky toe." You know. But if the case is,
But come on, Wiley, you saying it is? I don't think she will be over, but this would be a detriment.
It would be a detriment to her brand.
She went on the actual thing of like her whole thing was protection of black women,
support,
and then you find out if we find out that this lady had lied on this man, there is no reversal of that.
Whew.
There is no reversal of that.
Press 1 let's do a vote. But let's do a vote with the people. Press 1 if the charges be dismissed. If Tory Lanez, if the charges be dismissed, press 1 if you think her career gonna be over. Press 2, she will survive it. Press 1, you think her career gonna be over. Press 2, Megan Thee Stallion will survive it. Let me know in the comments. Press 1, you think her career gonna be over. Press 2, she gonna survive it. Some of y'all press 1 still gonna be listening to me. Press 1. Okay, all right. Make sure y'all subscribe. There you go. Well, we thank you so much, caller. I will tell you this. Just you let me know. I'm gonna come back later today and give an update on this because I'm curious, just like you, because they were supposed to be at court yesterday.
All right, have fun that one, Wiley. Get back in the chat.
All right, thank you. All right, though. Thank you so very much for thank you so very much for calling in. This was definitely okay. Yes. Well, we shall see. I'm about to go. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning into the show. We had got people that called in. We want to thank you to all the people that call in. If you can please subscribe to the show, please subscribe and thumbs up the video. We want to say thank you to all the moderators in the house. Y'all know who y'all are. I see Armor Brown 09, Tory Mon, J Real, Nurse Nicole, Blue Skies, Puppy Love, B Scales, Mouth Open, Shantae, Day, TLC and 3, D and D1 and Bright Star. Thank you. We got a caller. Anonymous, you live on air.
Hey, Wiley.
Hey.
I thought that you had mistaken Tory Lanez for R. Kelly because Tasha talked about R. Kelly.
No, I put Tory Lanez because of the court thing. No, I was going to talk about that later on today. I put Tory Lanez because I heard that yesterday he had a court date, so I thought I was going to have like an update. I don't have no paperwork, so everything that I said was just my opinion. I ain't got no facts to back it up. So I don't know if the case been dismissed, charge been dismissed, but no, we're going to talk about that, what you talk about later on today.
Yeah.
No, that's R. Kelly. I know how R. Kelly look. I ain't going to get R. Kelly mixed up.
Okay, Wiley. All right, Wiley.
All right, thank you. All right, bye-bye. All right, y'all. Y'all have fun. Thank you all so much. I will see y'all later. Let me see y'all last comments in here. The show has been lit. Storm, they got some storm in the comments. Wiley got the hearts. Oh, Dag, the beautiful queens. Yes, we love the moderators. Let's get to 300 likes, people. Let's get to 300 likes. Let's get to 300 likes. Let's get to 300 likes. Y'all better come on. All right, they said check Tory Instagram. Let's check Tory Instagram. Give me a second. Let's check his Instagram. Oh yeah, I checked his Instagram. All he's saying is big sets. Oh, big sets. Look like he's doing something like a show. It look like he's doing a show. Okay. No, I just see he saying something about a show, but nothing on his Instagram. Let's talk about Bill Blaggers who got deported. Yeah, so if you got any topics for it, we're going to go back live tonight. We did the morning live. So if you got any topics you want me to talk about, go to my DM right now. You can go to Wiley Show, DM me, or you can email. I prefer the DMs because I love the DMs because it's better. It's much quicker. I get it instantly versus the email because sometimes you get lost in the sauce. But if you got any subjects you want me to talk about tonight, let me screen share my Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram and DM me right now. And there you go. You can DM me right now and show me love. Thank you so very much. Make sure y'all show me love on Instagram. Any topics, and we gonna see you tonight. Y'all be blessed. Peace.